Episode 2 with my Rakdos Kill Creatures deck. This matchup is against another mono black deck running the Lion Ajani avatar. I start off with decent mana, a lot of removal and both colours. The opponent doesn't have a turn 1 play, so we have a different start at least from the previous episode. Opponent now goes to 2 black. Still expect this to be a life gain deck, but as it transpired, it's another mono black deck. Sometimes you expect white with the avatar Ajani. Very much in the first episode, this mono black deck on curve casts the aerialist, and in a similar fashion to the last episode, I'm able to deal with this with lava coil. Again, shocks wouldn't be good enough, and currently, although I have shocks in hand, I only have 1 red mana currently. We have second black mana. In this deck, black mana tends to be the most important of the 2 colours. The deck can suffer quite a bit when it doesn't have its black mana. It can do reasonably well just with red, but it does rely on black mana to really take control of the game properly, certainly towards the latter stages. We see our opponent now developing well, no mana issues as we had with our previous opponent in the last game, although the objective is still to keep the board clear. We have a different collection of cards in the deck this time, so the match is quite different, so it's good to talk through the differences as they come up. One of the key things about this match was again the use of the Playcrafter for removal, and in this case not using removal in conjunction with the skeleton to sacrifice, because we haven't drawn the skeletons yet. But the deck is still managing, in particular with the single red mana we have, to have enough spells to take care of creatures on the board. And in addition, adding black mana, giving me the opportunity to cast more spells. Creature comes out, we get another creature, so it's been creature after creature after creature, backed up by the Planeswalker, being pumped by the Planeswalker. So yeah, the idea here, without this deck being able to come up with decent answers in the terms of the removal, so now we move into the black removal, but this time using the Playcrafter to singly to sacrifice himself, and the player's option is to sacrifice both. Sacrifice the creature, beg your pardon, instead of the Planeswalker. But as you can see, with the Order of Midnight, we can bring the Playcrafter back. We still have the shocks in hand, so we're sitting on red removal, and we've brought back black removal. with the adventure side of the Order of Midnight. So where I run 4 playcasters and 4 Orders of Midnight, that's potentially giving me up to 8 playcrafters. So it's pretty powerful removal if and when the cards are drawn. The other key removal, obviously, and particularly in this case, taking clear of the Planeswalker, although I could have used a Playcrafter arguably, is using the Murderous Rider. So because I know he's running a lot of creatures and that, better to hold the Playcrafter back so that the creatures can be dealt with the combination of shocks and the Playcrafter. I cast out the Order of Midnight creature side of that card, could swiftly dispatch with Thorin's Thirst. He comes up with his second Aerialist, which I have an answer to with the Playcrafter. So again, I'm only on 1 red mana at this point in time, so although Shock is pretty decent for removal, it wasn't going to be helping me to take care of this Aerialist, but the Playcrafter does the job. And remember, that's the second time he's been cast, because he was returned with the Order of Midnight. We have clear board again. The opponent still now casting, but drawing in as he's top decking as the last episode, but this time he's finding something. But in this case, it's a creature that I can deal with. I think there's a mistake here from the opponent, because I'm sure he could have pumped mana in the open mana he had to save it, but again, this is probably another beginner not aware of that. As we'll see, that might have caused the problem. It would have saved it, but I would have had double shock to get rid of it anyway. As it turns out, the board's clear, and the big haymaker, Clackbridge Troll, comes down. So with 3 0/1 goats that come out, the opponent obviously gets rid of one of them to stop the attack, but with the 2 shocks in hand, I use this first one on his end step just to take one of them out, knowing that I can use the shock to kill the second one before we move into the attack step. He has another play to make, but like episode 1, his play is putting a lot of mana into an enchantment that hits the board, but again, too expensive and not really helping the current board state from the opponent's point of view. For my follow-up turn, I get rid of the final goat before the combat step, and also cast out, for added insult, the God Eternal Bontu, which will not be attacking this turn, but remains a dangerous threat. So at this point in time, the match is pretty much in hand. And the opponent, as you'll see, I choose to leave when I enter the attack step with the troll. So that was the end of that match. And back to Silver 2. From the last episode, there were 2 lost matches, one from a disconnect, which is a bit disappointing, with a mono white against a mono white deck. There was a second match against a mono white, but in that case I failed to draw into the correct black mana early enough